So for the Detroit Lions, it's always important to expect the unexpected with Brad Holmes. So here's what I would do if I was the Detroit Lions. I would draft Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle for Alabama. Caden Proctor, successful career at Alabama, incredible athlete, five-star guy, recruited by Nick Saban, fits a position in need. The Lions, Taylor Decker retired. So to me, Caden Proctor would be the pick. Now he's projected to go higher. I saw Mel Kiper. You see some of the media. He's bumping up in mock drafts. Most likely the NFL people view him more highly than the media does. But Caden Proctor would be the pick. But what I think the Lions should do is, or what I think the Lions will do is I think they will take safety Dillon Thieneman from Purdue. Now, Dillon Thieneman is an interesting guy in this draft because he's not one of the flashy names like Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. You notice every draft has like flashy names that seem to be getting a lot of publicity. Now, obviously, those guys are still some of the better players in this draft. I'd throw in Jordan Tyson there too. Obviously, those guys are still some of the better players in this draft, like I just reiterated. But the thing about those guys is, the thing about the thing about Dillon Thieneman, I should say, is he's a really good football player that's just not getting a lot of buzz in this draft process. You see him moving up a little bit in mock drafts. I've seen him usually tending to go to the middle, the late first round in mock drafts in the media's eyes. But yeah, Dillon Thieneman, I think, is the pick because you got to think about it like Kirby Joseph. There's a lot of mystery with him and the injury. When does Brian Branch come back this season? And we've seen this with Brad Holmes. A lot of times he'll take a guy who, like them drafting Dillon Thieneman would be a lot like them taking Jack Campbell or Tyleik Williams these past few years. Like Jack Campbell, they took Jack Campbell, and a lot of people were like, okay, yeah, he's a rock solid football player. Like he's not one of the flashy big names, guy that's getting a lot of publicity in this draft process for whatever reason, but it's a good pick. Same last year, Tyleik Williams. Look at Ohio State and their national title run. Tyleik Williams. Now, did he play great this year for the Lions? Not necessarily, but you look at Tyleik Williams. I mean, he was rock solid. He's a rock-solid player for Ohio State, contributor on their national title team. Not even just in the national title team, just a rock-solid player. Not a guy that was getting, heavily praised last year in the draft process, but was getting mocked at times at the end of the first round. Same with Jack Campbell. Was getting mocked at the end of the first round, ended up going to the second round. And same thing with Dillon Thieneman, guy that started his career at Purdue, wasn't well known, transferred this year to Oregon, just a really good player that can make plays in the ball. You saw he had the game-sealing interception to beat Penn State. So yeah, Dillon Thieneman, I think, will be the pick just because, you've seen this with Brad. I think this has the ingredients. I'll say it this way. This has the ingredients to be the pick for the Lions because you've seen this with Brad Holmes. You expect the unexpected. He falls in love with one player. To me, Dillon Thieneman seems like a guy that he could fall in love with just because Brad Holmes has said this. He loves guys that are just good football players. I think that's what Dillon Thieneman is, just a good football player. And also, he has I guess, okay. Well, I had another reason why, but yeah. Basically expect the unexpected. He falls in love with one guy, and I think Thieneman is that guy. And the reasoning is he's just a good football player. So for that reason, I think what I would do, I guess no one really cares as much what I would do, but what I would do is take Caden Proctor. But what I think they will do, and I'm not knocking Dillon Thieneman, I think he's a good player, but what I think they will do, I think they will take Dillon Thieneman, the former Purdue safety, and the Oregon safety this past year. I think that's what they will do.